This is Joby Aviation on the monthly chart, and you can see after reaching lows at around $3, price finally rose and then broke out of this trading range at $5. It continued to move higher, but you can't ignore the pullback. So far, that pullback in price represents roughly a 60% retracement. Now, I love when I see prices retrace almost the full move higher, and I'm talking about the 88.6% retracement level. That's a Wall Street fib retracement that is often overlooked. However, on Friday, the company received some good news. The stock rose on Friday after the vertically integrated air mobility company announced results from a test flight. The big news here is H2Fly, a subsidiary of Joby Aviation, completing its test flight of a liquid hydrogen-powered electric aircraft. That's worth noting, as it's the first time a test flight of such an aircraft has been completed with a pilot. The company's HY4 demonstrator aircraft was used for these test flights. Among them was one impressive flight that saw the aircraft remain in the sky for 3 hours. The company notes that this shows the viability of using cryogenically stored liquid hydrogen instead of gaseous hydrogen, which enables significantly lower tank weights and volume, leading to longer range. Here's what the CEO had to say. He said, in the years to come, battery, electric, and hydrogen electric propulsion systems will enable us to build aircraft that are quieter and make mid to long range air travel possible with zero emissions. It's critical we take action now and invest aggressively in these technologies for the health of our planet and future generations to come. Now, it's been a long road in the last 2 months. What happened 2 months ago? Let's check out this video.
How big a moment is this for your company?
First, Ed, thank you so much. Good morning. Wonderful to be with you. This is a huge moment. The Joby team has been working really, really hard, and we've been flying prototypes of our aircraft since 2017, full-scale prototypes. But this is the first time that an aircraft that's come off our pilot manufacturing line has received certification from the FAA to begin flight test. And this is a pivotal moment. As you can see, I'm standing here at our pilot manufacturing line. And not only do we have the first one coming off the line, but we've got multiple coming along behind us.
Okay, so give me some numbers. How many do you think you will build in the remainder of 2023, and how many in 2024?
So we're still in the crawl phase of this journey. This pilot manufacturing line here has the potential to build a few tens of aircraft per year. So this is just a first step of a really exciting journey. Another piece that we're announcing today is that President and CEO of Toyota North America, Ted Ogawa, is joining the Joby board. And this is Toyota joined as our largest external investor in 2019, and they've been continuing to lean in. We've got Toyota team members both working shoulder to shoulder with our team here in California, as well as team members in Japan from Toyota's flying mobility team that are really leaning into this new sector. Toyota North America produced 1.7 million cars last year, and generated more than $100 billion in revenue. It is just amazing to have Ogawa-san joining our board, and he's actually here in Marina with us today for our rollout of this aircraft.
Outline the curve for me of this production line. We're calling it a pilot line. When does it become sort of serial production? Saleable units beyond your existing deal with the military, which we'll get to in a moment.
Yeah, so we are working with states across the country to put in support packages together, and we're going to be selecting a site for our phase 1 manufacturing, which will give us the capacity to build hundreds of aircraft per year in the next few months. And so that will mark a really important step as we scale. But even before we can go into volume production, we need certification with the FAA. And yesterday we had 80 members from both the DOT, the DOE, the NASA, and the FAA that came to visit us here in Marina to see the progress that we're making on our manufacturing facility, and also they're really leaning in. 2 weeks ago, I was with global regulators in Cologne, Germany, with EASA, with the FAA, with folks from the JCAB in Japan, and the CA in the UK, regulators
Yes.
from around the world that are really leaning in on this new technology.
JoBen,
despite the positive news today, shares of Joby Aviation stock aren't seeing much movement. Only about 845,000 shares have changed hands as of this writing. For the record, its daily average trading volume is closer to 10.2 million shares. So really, what's the one question that investors want to know? Let's listen in.
JoBen, every time an executive like you comes on the show, I go to Twitter and I say, JoBen's coming on the show. What would you ask? And lots of people have a very reasonable question. For the average Twitter user, when will they be able to get into a Joby aircraft that has nothing to do with the military, that kind of meets your goals of a broader flying taxi service?
So our target is to launch our commercial service here in the U.S. in 2025. We have an amazing partnership with the team at Delta Airlines, and that recently I've had the opportunity to go to JFK, LaGuardia, and LAX, where Delta has invested more than $10 billion in terminals, to look with the Delta team at where we're going to site the takeoff and landing locations for these aircraft to deliver the really spectacular customer experience that we want to deliver to Delta customers, where you can step off of your Joby air taxi and onto your Delta flight as seamlessly as possible.
Yes. JoBen, the stock's up 40%. What do you make of that?
The stocks go up, stocks go down. What the team here at Joby is laser focused on is doing what we do best, which is delivering. That's exactly what we're doing today. We are rolling our first aircraft off the manufacturing line. We've got the certificate of airworthiness from the FAA to begin flight testing this aircraft, and we're super excited about taking this aircraft to Edwards Air Force Base in California to begin testing with the DoD. And that is a just spectacular opportunity for us to begin building the operational muscle and begin moving goods and people around military air bases before we have our FAA certification.
So the deliveries to the military, the Air Force, starting in 2024, a lot of questions I get for you are about business model. You think about New York City as an example, you can take a helicopter ride for around $200. How are you going to price a service in the future? How do you get competitive with basically what already exists, which is a helicopter with a pilot?
Yeah, so our goal is to actually be competitive with the cost of ground transportation, but to deliver you to your destination multiple times faster, 5 times faster, and with a dramatically better experience. Being able to see these beautiful cities like New York from the air is an amazing way to start your day.
So where does price head next? Well, the candle that sticks out the most based on volume occurred the week of June 26. So let's go down to the daily chart to get a closer look. And we have a gap a little bit below the 61.8 retracement. So where's price heading next? Well, we're going to fill that gap. At a minimum, just scrolling back out to the monthly chart, You fill that gap, and with this huge down move, there's no reason why price can't continue to move down. Joby is still a pre-revenue company, winding its way through the certification process and assembling its fleet of small electric aircrafts capable of vertical takeoffs and landing. It's nice to know that it has a juicy investor in Delta, which has poured in at least $60 million. It also doesn't hurt that Cathy Woods also bought about 2 million shares in the company this year thus far. And as we've seen in Cathy Woods' fashion, she could continue to buy more shares as price continues to decline. I like $5 as an entry to go long over the longer term. Why 5? Well, that was the breakout of the sideways price action. $5 also represents a round hole psychological number. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. Please like the video.